Now that the truth has been revealed that this War of Realms was actually puppeteered by extraterrestrial forces, will our heroes be able to put all this bad blood behind them, or will this new villainous force steamroll them all? Well, let's hop into the pages of Dark Knights of Steel issue number 10 and find out together, shall we? Well, geez, the wait in between issues on this one sure did get long, didn't it? Thankfully, the story goes out of its way to actually remind us of a couple big events that have been going on. 3 monarchs lay dead, and many more soldiers after the Kingdom of El, the Amazonians, and the Kingdom of Storms all went to war with each other, each believing the other to be some sort of villainous masterminds, but of course none of that turned out to be true. In reality, the real power behind all of these deaths was actually white Martians. But moreover than that, at the end of that last battle, Alfred of the House of Wayne actually revealed himself to be none other than this universe's answer to John Jones. As you might have guessed, people like the new Queen of the Amazons, Wonder Woman, is royally pissed off and suspicious about this guy. But before she can lop his head off, the bastard Prince of Bats, Bruce, actually steps on in and defends him, which is actually a great bit of characterization, not just because as far as he's concerned, this guy still is the Alfred he's always known and loved, but also all throughout this story, Bruce has gone on his own journey of self-discovery and learning not to judge books by their cover. Bruce also says, hey, if you want to pump this guy for information, why don't you just use that magical golden rope around your waist that makes it so people have to tell you the truth. Oh yeah, writers always seem to forget Wonder Woman can do that. The interrogation will come in due time, but the next course of action is deciding what the hell they're going to do about this battlefield. Many people are dead, many more are dying, and there's still plenty of distrust to go around. It's here that Queen Lara actually proves to be the bigger woman in this situation and says that all the other armies can take shelter in the city. Wonder Woman herself still hasn't even buried her own mother yet and still isn't used to all this responsibility, or even getting called Majesty for that matter. Then of course there's still the matter of Constantine, who is beating himself up even more than normal right now as he realizes, ah crap, I really did give my king all the worst advice, didn't I? Look at all the destruction and horror my damn stupid prophecy has brought unto all the people I love. We're still, oh yeah, I guess I kinda resurrected that kid, huh? Guess I'll have to explain that to the Queen of Storms, his sister, and oh boy, I bet I'm gonna get a serious tongue lashing about that one. Boy, things just go from bad to worse for old Johnny Constantine. Well, now isn't this interesting too? After the dead are buried and the dust is settled, there's actually 3 new queens now for the realms. They now know they have a single enemy to go after, but before that they'll need to actually understand who they're fighting and also who John Jones is. As we discover, the Waynes actually always knew that John was an alien but didn't tell anyone, because they too remembered the whole prophecy about evil aliens destroying them all, and especially that part about the Green Man, because, well, John was always the Green Man. And speaking of green women, Poison Ivy, the de facto queen of the forest, decides to invite herself to this little shindig so she can sit in and hear John's story. Stop me if you've heard this one before. But once upon a time, the planet of Mars was a beautiful and prosperous planet that just so happened to have a little problem with racial division and tension. These problems were ultimately exacerbated by Protex. Yes, that Protex, the evil white Martian who is sometimes the leader of the Hyper Clan. I see what you're doing there, Tom Taylor. Protex whipped the other whites up into a murderous frenzy trying to enslave their green brothers. The Greens, as we learn, weren't so nearly adept at fighting, but they were pretty intelligent, and when push came to shove, they ultimately managed to create a powerful super weapon that ended up firebombing the entire surface of the planet, turning it into the red, dusty hellhole that we all know to be Mars. The Green Martians, including John and his son, were forced to live underground. They thought everything was going to get back to normal, but apparently Protex survived the explosion and would later come to exact his pound of flesh, killing many Green Martians, including John's own son, which might actually explain his close fatherly, mentorly relationship with Bruce. John would come to Earth, and Protex would follow him not long after, hoping to enslave the people of Earth much in the same way he hoped to enslave the Green Martians of Mars. Though perhaps now that his illusion has been shattered, the Queens can finally unite, create one super army, and push back the alien threat once and for all. Well, now that certainly answers a lot of questions, but there's still one burning one. If John Jones was actually the prophesized Green Man, then what was the deal with Lex ex-Joker Green Lantern? Well, as it turns out, he was just another part of Protex and the White Martian scheme. Hell, his lantern ring never actually was talking to him. That was just Protex literally whispering in his ear. And now that the jig is up and medieval Lex Luthor has far outlived his usefulness, Protex decides to kill him and ready his own forces for one last push against the good guys as the comic comes to a close. And so that was Dark Knights of Steel issue number 10, everyone, and overall I thought it was pretty good. We finally get the big explanation of what was going on, even though I feel myself and others were pretty quick to actually guess the Martian twist before it was ultimately revealed to us. I also find it a little odd that Taylor took more or less the whole issue to give us John's origin and the Martian's origin, and then he ultimately didn't change much of their story. I just took it to be a little jarring in a series where Taylor went out of his way to reinvent the wheel on a lot of different characters. Here it's just Martian Manhunter as you always known him. I suppose it is kind of funny that Joker Luthor ultimately ended up being such a red herring, or I guess green herring as the case may be. Bruce and some of the other characters certainly got some fun character moments, but I don't think this is the strongest issue in the series, and I hope the last two give us a finale worth looking forward to. Overall, though, I'd give this one a 7.5 out of 10.
Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cave Jewel, and if you're seeing me right now, that means you watched to the end of the video, which I am very appreciative of. It really helps drive engagement and retention and all that other good YouTube stuff. So does liking and commenting. Wink wink. If you like my content too, you should check out my Patreon page. We just redid all the tiers, so there's a ton of great rewards. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month, and well, it would just really help me out. It's never expected, but always appreciated. So until next time, everyone, I've been Cape Joel, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.